the myth, the legend, Hugo, aka the Hugo, man of many talents. Who are you?
I'm me.
What does that mean?
I'm Hugo.
Who is Hugo?
Um,
What drives Hugo? What inspires Hugo? What makes Hugo who he is?
can you break that down more?
Well, you have like a lot of things, it seems like, from your social media channels and just the way you are as a person, a lot of things that influence you personality wise, whether it be music, whether it be like where you're from. So, what makes you who you are?
Well, there's a lot of things that make me who I am, I guess, but I guess to put it into like simple terms, it would be just a playboy from the Bay, boy. You feel me? I be out here. I don't know, trying to save the world.
And when you say save the world, what do you mean?
Like I want to make the world a better place because it's really shitty, and I want to do that through everything that I do, and I have big plans to, I want to say save the world more so, but essentially, yeah, that like I have more plans in the far future and near future to just try and help people around me, help the planet I live on. And yeah, it's pretty literal and like figurative at the same time.
Do you feel like the work you do as a designer helps like save the world or brings positive impact to not just the world but your community?
Well, for my community, I do try and like be proactive in it, and I try and help, I guess, in Vallejo, the art community. And so in that way, I guess I say I help my community on a local level. Artists, I'm always trying to work with artists and help them, you know, become, bigger than they were like before they worked with me. And as far as like my clothes go, like, I make stuff that's pretty affordable, and that's one of my I guess key goals in all of this is I want to make clothing and just fashion in general, even outside of my own brand, more affordable. Um, and just as far as like my art, I put my personal like feelings and emotions into it, and hopefully like somebody interprets that, or even if they interpret it a different way than how I intended it for it to be, hopefully it just helps them in a positive manner. As of right now, as far as production on the way that my clothes are made, because I do want to go a super green route. I'm pretty limited right now since I'm, on the smaller side. But eventually, I would hope to become more green and just want to have more control over everything, and I'm, a bigger business. Right now, my clothes are printed in a very environmentally friendly way as far as the printing method goes. Yeah, so that's like as far as like the clothing goes, how I feel like it helps people now. Like I said, in the future, I have much bigger plans.
What's that you got there?
Yerba mate.
So,
you want to open yours?
No, it's okay.
You
I'll wait.
open yours?
So you have a clothing brand, and I'm sure you've like told this story several times before, but for the people who may not know, take us back to the very beginning. How did you decide that you even wanted to make clothes to begin with?
Um. Okay. So I grew up like poor, not able to always afford clothes, and when I did have clothes, I would wear them like fucking one pair of shoes like the whole year, fucking same shirt, like like just wear them the fuck out. And I used to get picked on about how I dressed and stuff. And that sort of is where like my stem for it starts, I guess. Because like I said, I wanted to make clothes more affordable, so that's where that stems from. Um, as far as like what made me like I guess put it into motion was, I mean, as people know, or maybe they don't. I'm really inspired by like Tyler the Creator, and so I remember when he was making Wolf, he started making a lot more clothes than he did before. Before like Odd Future and like Tyler stuff was like more merch, and then he came out with like Golf Wang, and it became like a brand and whatnot. And I remember even like during Wolf era, he would like draw on his clothes, and you know, he would post like him making tie-dyes and stuff, and so I was like, you know, if he's doing this on and he's so big and he still thinks that shit is tight, and then, you know, he still sells that type of shit, then, you know, I could start out that way because I'm able to access fucking Sharpies, and I can access fucking tie-dye and t-shirts. And so like when I was in high school, like the first like clothes that I was selling were tie-dye shirts. And
how was that?
they sold pretty good. You know, I was like the tie-dye man in high school. I was also other things. Um and then as far as MAINEY SWOG goes, like the actual name, this is gonna get like super deep. This is like the first time. This is like the first time I've ever said this on video, because people always ask me and I just give them like the short answer, like, "Oh, MAINEY's a day term. I just hate the word swag."
As you want to go.
Okay, let me just take a shot real quick. No.
Go to space real fast.
Okay. You said go to space. Okay, so when I was a freshman in high school, so this was like 2011. That sounds weird. Okay. Like I went to a high school that wasn't like in. I lived in Concord, California, for like a year, because we got like booted out the city because of gentrification and rent got too high, so we had to like live with my aunt for like a year. So I was living in Concord, and I went to this school in like the neighboring city. They're damn near the same city. It's called Clayton. So I went to a high school out there. It's called Clayton Valley. It's like rich, preppy kids. Fucking, you know, they got Corvettes and all these sports cars, and you know they don't even have to graduate high school because they'll be good because both their parents are married, and you know how it would be. So I went to that type of school, and I was, like I said, I was like poor, and so I was just dressed the way that I had to at the time. And I just remember getting picked on for like I said, how I dressed. It was more so in like middle school because, you know, I guess people care about how you dress in middle school. But like this was like in high school, like freshman year, just still couldn't afford clothes, and I was just like the new kid because I had just moved out there, and I just like, you know, nobody just fucked with me. I didn't do anything, just people didn't fuck with me. And it was like always like the kids that were like, "Oh, swag this, swag that. Can I borrow a pencil? Oh yeah, here you go. Oh, swag, thanks." I just hated the word swag. It was so cringe at the time. And so that just made me like just develop like a hate for like the word swag. So I came up with the word swag. And originally when I started the brand, it was just called Swag. And then I was like, you know, it needs something because this isn't, you know, swag just to me always like has represented being like the outcast or the weird kid. But you know, there's a part of me that is that, but there's a part of me that I know is fucking cool and is tight. And you know, I guess the best way I thought to, you know, that's still a good way for me to represent it, is with the word MAINEY, which is a Bay term, and Bay Area is super tight, and I'm passionate about being from the Bay, as you know. So it's like, this could be like a, you know, that's when I was like, okay, well, my brand is, you know, I want it to have a duality, because I think everybody has a duality too, because everybody has a side that they're like, they show when they're with people, and then they have their like weird, I'm alone side, or, you know, their weird side, basically, that they're kind of afraid to show unless it comes out of a bot, you know, unless they break out. So it's like, I was just like, you know, I want people to be able to express both sides and also like not be afraid to show that weird side. So that's how like MAINEY SWOG came about, and I think of it as a duality. And you know, for an example would be like Outkast, how there's like Andre 3000 and Big Boy, and it's like they're both dope on their own, and you know, Andre's like the weird one or whatever, and Big Boy's like the fucking tight one, you know. And like Love Below, Speaker Box, and all that. So it's like a duality, just like Outkast in a way. That's always how I compare it. Like the whole like name of it is MAINEY SWOG. It's like, you know, you kind of need one without the other, like Outkast. So yeah, that's how I came up with the brand name, and that's like my vision. And like I said, I want to do stuff as far as like to make fashion more affordable. I have other ideas even outside of fashion, but it just starts, I guess, with that for me, my book.
So you just had a drop back in February, right?
Yeah.
And so, what is your creative?
Just a month ago.
It
seems like longer.
Yeah, it seems like it was so long ago. What's your creative process like when you're preparing for a drop? When you're deciding what designs you're gonna put in a collection? What's that process like for you?
Well, sometimes I have like a lot of designs that I don't end up using, but going into this drop, I was kind of like in a, I don't want to say a creative block, even though it kind of was, but I guess I was also just like, I felt like there was a lack of time for me to put thought and effort into the brand, so I had to kind of put things on hold for a cool couple months. So this one came like kind of naturally, and just everything was just super fire that I came out with, and like I ended up every design just
the response was really great.
Go, yeah. So, I mean, I don't have like a shit ton of graphics that I'm ever like, yeah, nah, that one won't work, but usually, yeah. As far as like, I guess the inspiration for this drop was like I said, I had to like not focus on it, and I found myself like in a way depressed and just, what's the word for when you feel like choked but not like literally choked?
Suffocated?
Not suffocated. I don't know. I just felt like tight, like my time was tight. You know, my free time was tight, and it kind of like caused me to like spiral into this weird feeling. I don't want to say depression, because I wasn't depressed. It was just like
blah.
Yeah. So I was, you know, I was just the way I felt for a while after, and it was like, yeah, so it was just that. And so I found myself like just being at home a lot, and when I was at home, because I was also trying to save money, that's another reason why I felt like I wasn't doing much. But I was just at home a lot, like watching hella TV, playing hella video games, and I just like found a lot of inspiration in things that I normally like have always done, but it just like, I don't know. I played Persona 5. Persona 5. I played that fucking game, and that just like, that kind of just like opened the box up.
Do you feel like it's better when you find inspiration in things that you do every day versus trying to dig and pull out of your mind and try to conceptualize things?
Definitely. Like a lot of the graphics that I have are like super personal, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's obvious that it's like personal, and sometimes I feel like it's not. Like
what about this one?
That one was just like from fucking anime that, you know, we were watching hella like during this time we were watching a lot of anime, and like hella lo-fi shit. Going to sleep to lo-fi, and I was just like, you know, this is kind of nice, and I was like, you know, I want to make a mount. That is like literally from, this is like one picture of Mount Fuji. It's like a real life picture, like someone took it, and I found it on the internet, and I like took the picture of Mount Fuji, and I like turned it to like I made it look like an anime and cartoonized it. So it was like a real life graphic, or like a real life photo, and I made it into like a graphic, so it has a cartooniness. And those are all one mount. I just reshaped them and changed the color, added some birds, put the sunset in. There's no sunset from Mount Fuji, but so yeah, that one's like from an anime. And I mean, like one of my most popular designs is like the orange juice carton. I just really fucking like orange juice.
That was actually hand drawn.
Yeah, that was like the first thing that I released. I made like a draft of that, and then I gave it to an old friend of mine. Her name is Penny, and she like made it even better looking. So shout out Penny. And then what's another good example? One example, I have like this shirt with like a bunch of faces on it, and it's just like it's a smile or whatever, like a mouth and eyes. And
how long ago was that put out?
That was like a year ago. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, I was dealing with like a lot of like snaky people and feelings of paranoia, and I made that like, I was feeling like I have like not severe paranoia, but I feel like I'm a paranoid person sometimes.
We all can be, I think.
Yeah, and now that shirt, I like just call it paranoia, and it was just symbolizing those faces were just symbolizing. It was smiling faces. You know, you ever heard the song "Smiling Face"? So that's like literally what that shirt was, and it looks kind of, it has like that creepy, surreal spookiness to it, but it's actually like pretty personal.
How much influence would you say music has on what you create? Because you are a big music guy, I think.
A lot. I would be dead without music. I would be dead without Kid Cudi. And
Talk about him.
I use Kid Cudi a lot in my like clothing inspiration, like fucking lightning bolts. My like love for fucking lightning bolts.
You have a lightning bolt tattoo behind your ear.
Is that this on this side?
Is
yeah.
It? Yes. Yes.
That's actually like a Kid Cudi line from Immortal, which I always say is like the song that saved me. The bar goes, "I got my lion heart and electric flowing through my brain." So like lightning bolts and like the electricity, it just, that actually like fucking comes from that one bar. And I think Cudi has like two other like really notable like electricity bars, but that comes from like everything that I have that's electricity comes from that. Fucking the color yellow like comes from like Tyler and shit. Like the sun, that actually like comes from Tyler as well. In a song that's not on an album, he goes, "T is the sun and you're the Saturn." Like he's saying like he owns shit, and it's like a, he's like deitized. Is that what it's called? Deitizing, right? God, right?
Yeah.
He like deitizes himself in that bar, and I'm not like deitizing myself, but I like think I'm the shit.
You are.
I am the shit.
Yes.
Confidently, not egotistically. Well, some kinda. But it's like I'm the sun, but also like outside of just the sun thing. Like I said, I want to save the world, and I feel like the sun and electricity, it all goes back to that saving the world thing. Like electricity is a form of power, and sun, like it shines on people, and it's a ray of like it's symbolic. It's honestly, now that I'm like saying it, it's like more symbolic than it is like how I guess Tyler put it, or how I just put it a second ago. It's like trying to bring light to people's lives. So that's how the sun, electricity, and all that goes. And what else? I really like space, and that comes from, again, Cudi.
And aliens a lot.
Aliens. Bay Area culture, obviously big around the music aspect, and I mean, my whole brand is MAINEY, and that's like a Bay Area term, and that probably wouldn't exist without it being used in a song. So definitely, yeah, music's like.
How do you feel about the state of Bay Area culture right now?
I think the Bay culture, it's kind of like we're kind of getting fucked over while also needing to have like a renaissance at the same time. We're getting fucked over because our sound is getting used. Like you got like Blueface and hella LA artists are like taking our sound and they don't want to fucking admit it. The Bust Down is like originally a Bay Area dance. You got like the 4 beat count like shit that came from the Bay Area. And then like fucking like, you know, that sound's always been around, but when I think of like when it got popularized after like SOB had a cool little breakout, or Nefta Pharaoh had a cool little breakout, and that's like their signature sounds. And the next thing you know, you got other artists, and I'm not just saying LA. It's like it's around the country, like YBN for example.
Too, yeah.
It's like, you know, they took that sound and ran with it, and they got big. And I mean, you could say it's like kind of our fault too. Like I'm saying, this is also why I'm saying like a renaissance is like. That's like, I don't know people's like business, but you know, I know that like sometimes people get spoiled, and I feel like they end up not making the right choices because they're thinking too much in the now, or you know, they're not making business choices correctly, and it ends up they just like end up hitting a ceiling on the business side of things. Maybe not even creatively. It's just they kind of don't make the right business choices. And that just like I'm saying, the renaissance is there's that, and then you know we don't fucking, there hasn't been anything bigger since hyphy movement in the Bay, and there hasn't been a movement like that, and it just hurts, and it's also due to like gentrification, and you know that all just ties into like what I want to do with the brand is like I have plans to like contribute to the ending of gentrification in the Bay, and you know that's essentially to help that'll help the culture, and that's also why I want to do it. is because I'm passionate about where I'm from, and yeah.
If you had unlimited resources to put on any kind of event you wanted to, what would that event look like for you?
Oh fuck yeah, that's a fire question. I would do like a probably a 2 week music festival.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like week 2 weekend music
Okay.
festival, not like
Okay.
literally like fucking like
Like
14
non-stop
days.
14 days.
Maybe like a okay, either like a camp out,
Okay.
like Pharaohs or like Coachella.
Okay.
So that would be fire. But like the one that I like first had in my head, like the 2 weekend music festival would be like 2 weekends music festival. Weekend one would be dedicated to California artists, and not specifically the Bay. The Bay would have its one day. Like day one would be like California artists, so like people that aren't in the Bay. So that would be day. That would be day two. That would be day two. Would it be day two? I don't know. Day two, California artists. So Saturday or Sunday. That Saturday would be like dedicated to the Bay Area artists. That shit would have both days would have a sideshow. Would have sideshows and fucking just like an arena space for fucking performances for people that like doing dumb, like a sideshow and like hella shit like that. But it would be Bay Area artists that first day, and then like I say, California artists the second day, and then the second weekend would be just a bunch of artists that I just fuck with that aren't from California, just I just that I like.
And who are some of those artists that you just like that aren't specifically from California?
Okay, Cuddy. I fuck with hella like. Ah, shoot. Okay, let me just. Now I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of like California artists that I like that may not be like the typical California sound. Okay.
Who?
Like Vince Staples, he's kind of been cutting into the California sound, but he's definitely not like a California sounding artist completely. Okay, who are some artists that aren't Californian? Like, fucking, let me think of places that I love that are big on culture. Like Houston, like, I fuck with
Houston,
Max.
they get like the South a lot, I think.
Yeah, I fuck with like 2005 Southern rap, like Mike Jones, fucking Paul Wall, all those people. I like Maxo Cream a lot. Like Meg is cool. I don't know where Father's from. He's either from the South or like from like the Midwest. I love Father a lot. I love McConan. Fucking Florida rap be cool sometimes.
But you don't like Florida.
I don't like Florida. Florida scares me. But Florida rappers, I think Denzel's from Florida, right?
Really?
Either he's from Florida or he like represents like Florida, but he's not. He wasn't born there.
Yeah.
But he definitely has like a Florida rapper sound. New York rappers sometimes like Flatbush Zombies, Underachievers, like Pro Era. Who are like non-rappers. Like, I mean, there's hella like people that aren't rappers that I like. I like reggae a lot. I don't know if you really know that, but I like reggae a lot.
What is it you like about reggae? Like, what does it do for you?
Well, grew up. My mom likes reggae a lot, so I grew up like hearing her always playing reggae. So I guess it kind of just grew on me. I couldn't name you a lot of artists. It's just like when I hear it, I'm like, ah. I have the.
Is it nostalgic
like,
for you?
Not nostalgic. It takes me to a place, I guess. It takes me to like camping or something. Like I feel like I'm camping, like an outdoorsy tree setting. Yeah, it's just a mellow genre that I like a lot. But I listen to it, I guess, more so like in my own space.
Yeah.
Or like on my own. Mm-mm.
So speaking of music, you recently picked up a new skill. How did that come about?
I picked up 20 skills. So which one are you talking about?
You had your first live DJ set on Instagram last weekend. How long have you been DJing?
That one.
And what got you into it?
I picked up DJing like almost like 3 weeks or a month now. Like not super long ago. The Instagram live DJ shit went really good. It was tight because somebody on the internet that I went to high school with was like trying to clown me for it, and like hello people, like a defense squad assembled for me. So that was pretty dope. It ended up being super cool. Wow, I have so much leg showing. Oh my god, I'm giving people a free show.
When you have haters, that means you're doing something right, though.
Yeah. So that was cool. I wanted to start DJing because, I mean, whenever I'm at parties don't play good music sometimes, and
That's
I'm
true.
like, I always know the right songs to pick. I always go to parties and like I always end up having like, not even intentionally, but just because I want to have a good time, I end up continuously suggesting songs to play, and like you see the mood change, and I'm like, finally I was just like, I should DJ.
You're the life of the party anyway. You be starting mosh pits and
yeah, and I like mosh pitting a lot. And I mean, I don't like clubbing as much as I like going to concerts, and so I feel like I wouldn't want to be like a club DJ. I like turn up sets, like at you know, like Taco at Camp Flognaw.
Yeah.
Like his sets be so lit, and it's just like
it's just him having fun.
He just be having fun, and he be like orchestrating. I'm trying to see somebody get sucked, and I just be trying to like real life. Like if I had like a big ass crowd of people, like the type of DJ sets I would have would be straight ragers, like fucking hella like violent shit playing, shit that's gonna make you want to like.
What about the
set
balance,
someone on fire? What do you mean the balance? Fuck balance, no. Fuck MAINEY SWOG, no. Like, what do you mean the balance?
Well, I mean, ragers are good, and it's good to have like back-to-back ragers, but people need a break in between stuff like that, right? So if you play consistent ragers, how people gonna have time to breathe?
They could breathe after the set. No, I would do like another set. I like mixing like, I don't know. I like mixing other music or just doing other shit, but definitely at like a show, if I was to be in a like music festival lineup, I would just be like the person like having a rager. But I mean, I don't mind doing other things, but that's definitely where my mood is in a live setting.
Rage.
It's just elbows.
Okay.
Elbows. Kneecaps if you push me. Okay. Get me there. I gotta get to that headspace though.
I want to pivot back to someone that you mentioned at least 3 times already, Tyler, the Creator. He's one of your big inspirations, and he started off in such a, what's the word, simplistic way in terms of him drawing most of his designs, but now he's evolved almost into like a high fashion, like golf is like up there now when it comes to like fashion and being mentioned with like high-end streetwear brands. How do you feel about the evolution of golf as a brand?
That shit's tight. Just seeing like in general, like just a person of color in like a setting where it's like a lot of brands that are from Europe like trying to push that envelope is really dope. And then also it's just such a weird, a weird brand, or it's kind of settling now, but I mean it's still weird. Yeah. But just like seeing that, because like I guess like it going from streetwear to like more high end just shows that like you could do that, because usually like when a brand starts like streetwear or vice versa, they're stuck there. I mean, you don't see you kind of see it like some, like a lot of high end brands now are kind of trying to push streetwear more than high end at this point. Like look at like Louis, they're trying to push more streetwear. That's why they linked up with Virgil. Virgil's sick too. Or like Supreme with Louis. But you get the point.
Yeah.
But also like Tyler, like he really started so much shit.
He did.
He really did. And he started a lot of fads and whatnot, and like I feel like he was a big contributor to bridging that gap. And so like when I get to that point and everything, it's gonna be a lot easier than it would have been if he didn't exist.
Will we ever see high-end MAINEY SWOG?
You will see high-end stuff from me, but I don't think I would want to make it called MAINEY SWOG because my last name is Quintero, and I feel like Quintero would look super dope.
For your fancier items. For
my fancy items being Quintero by Hugo or whatever. Like Chanel, but instead of Chanel, Quintero. Like, imagine like a fucking like sick ass looking Q or some shit. And then I could fucking like have like a MAINEY SWOG X Quintero release, make that shit like not expensive but super rare just cause. This is
Speaking of that, are you interested in collaborating with any brands like in the future? What's your dream collaboration like? If you have an interest in collaborating at all.
I'm not like a collaborator type. I mean, I like working with people. I don't know. Like, as far as like the brand, I wouldn't hit up another brand. If a brand hit me up and I was like, yeah, then maybe we could talk. But I don't feel a need. Not a need, but I just don't. I don't know. I never thought to do that, to like hit up another brand and be like, let's collab. If someone hit me up, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna put my best foot forward into the drop and all that. And like another thing is like, you know, sometimes when you collaborate, you have to like put both brands into it, or you know. So that's another thing. I guess I also haven't like why I haven't like thought of it. But what are brands that I like? I like obviously like golf, Bape, fucking a high end brand. I don't own any Chanel, but I always think Chanel looks super dope. Yeah. Those are three right there.
So you don't really have much of an interest when it comes to
BBC.
collaborating
Okay,
with clothes, but you as a person, you have a really tight-knit group of friends and you will all work really closely together. So how important would you say it is as an artist to have creative people around you that also support you but also share the same interests as far as like going to another level? How important is that?
well, you always hear me say this and they always hear me say this. We could all eat at the same table, or this table, like, you know, this table's all ours. So, you know, they're my friends and I love them on like not just like they're my family. So regardless if I eat, they're gonna eat. And just like the Bay Area art scene in general, it needs to be an ecosystem. It's not really, because people have this mindset that like there could be one person at the table, like the table or the mountaintop, whichever figure of speech you want to go with. There could only be one person eating or at
that
the
hurts
mountaintop.
So bad.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just like a thing out here, but me and my friends want to kind of like change that, and we all have similar visions as far as what we want to do. And you know, even the things that aren't similar, we want to help one another. Like, I'm not gonna like, if anybody's watched like the Soko interview on the MAINEY SWOG YouTube, Opan said he wants to like create an after school program.
Who's Opan?
That's the homie. That's the brother. Opan is my name. Listen to Hallelujah. His shit's coming. His album or EP is coming out. Anyways, he like said that like Soko, which is like his collective that he's a part of, like he wants to make after school program and like enrich like the youth to you know, help them have a paths to do what they're passionate about. And that's super dope. And I mean, I want them to get the credit for that, but I would love to help. So, you know, I like having my hand in a lot of things, but at the same time, I want everybody to be able to eat. And I want everybody to be able to get the credit that they deserve. And so if I could just help, even if it's not on the front line, then, you know, that's enough for me. Everybody has something that they want to do on the front line. But I feel like no one wants to always, you know, be on the back end, kind of behind the scenes. And I don't mind being behind the scenes sometimes. So, you know, yeah.
Earlier you mentioned how earlier in the year you were in like this weird headspace when it came to like not really feeling it like you could create, or you weren't really in the space where you could. Mm-hmm. How do you get out of that? Or how do you get beyond a creative block when you feel like you have one, whether it's a creative block mentally or you feel like things in life are preventing you from creating what you want to create?
Well, I believe that all artists, like, their art kind of, I don't think there's an artist that doesn't go through something. And I feel like eventually that pain will like translate eventually. You know, like time is, what's the phrase? Time is the healer of all pain, or whatever. You know,
I don't know the direct saying, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I feel like just in time, people, you know, will come around and get out of it. As far as like advice, all I could say is just don't force it. Don't like try to push something out because you know that you haven't in a long time. Just like being organic is really key. As far as like my approach to things, being organic is really key. So I would just say like don't don't try and push it.
In an age where social media is so like, look at what I'm doing and look at how I'm advancing, don't you think it's hard to just not push yourself when you see everyone else advancing? Like, how do you say, well, I'm fine where I am when there's so much like competition and comparing going
What's
on?
that Wayne bar about the lasagna? Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Nah, well, kind of. I think like I don't know, bro. You can't you can't look at what other people are doing always. You gotta like worry about yourself. You know, everything like it's good to be competitive, but don't compare. And you should definitely just try and like I don't know. I think it's important to like know that if you try super hard for something that's super forced and whatnot, you might get a mediocre outcome as opposed to if you take your time and thought and effort takes time. And so if somebody's doing something really quick, they're in a hot point. Like I said, everybody goes through something. And, you can't really always compare yourself. They could be fucking just won the lotto or they could be having, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just a matter of the timing. Timing is key. And, your time will come, your path, you'll get there if you manifest it. So, don't force it.
As a designer, you work with like a lot of different mediums. You hand draw, you work with digital. So, as a designer, do you have a skill that you feel like you perfected, and then which one that you want to learn and perfect?
I don't think I perfected anything.
No?
Nah.
Well, what's something that you want to perfect or learn?
I'll never perfect anything because you could always sharpen a knife.
Well, do you have something you think that you're really good at out of all your skills as far as being a designer?
I don't know. I'm pretty humble when it comes to like the craft of things, and I'm a fan of finished products.
Yep.
So I like having a finished product. I feel like a lot of people like love like the doing it. Yeah. I had some fairy godparents, and I could be like, I wish what you're reading in my head could just be on that shirt. I would.
So you don't care for the process as much as you do the finished product?
Well, I care about the process because I care about how shit is made, and I care about ethics and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, personally, for you, like if you're sitting working on a project, is the process like annoying to you, like trying to get to the finish line?
It's not annoying. Sometimes it's just hard or frustrating, and like even now when I make clothes, it's handmade, but there's machinery that does that shit instantly that I would love to have, but it's super expensive. I don't want to fucking cut I don't want to cut you see me. I make vinyls. Yeah. I cut shit out every time I want to make fucking the MAINEY SWOG smiley face, and that shit's like really hard, especially when it's small, but it's just really hard to do that, and sometimes that gets draining, especially when you're doing it over and over, and there's fucking machines that do it like fucking instantly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not like process is kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you're under source and you have to kind of like do things by yourself, or yeah.
Do you always want to do things by yourself, or do you one day want to have a team that you can entrust to?
Fucking team. Dude, I need a team now. I do. I mean, like you said, I do like a lot of things, and I haven't like publicly announced it. And I guess this could kind of be like my first like public announcement of it. I want to open MAINEY SWOG up to like is that the correct? I want to open MAINEY SWOG up as a collective.
Okay.
And I mean, I wouldn't want it to be like someone help me with clothes. I guess that would be more along the lines of like things that I'm not super inclined with, like music. I want to have like music artists like being a part of MAINEY SWOG and representing it. And I have people that like really help me with MAINEY SWOG and like are supportive to the max and stuff, but want someone like gangbanging MAINEY SWOG, no.
Do you feel like being part of a collective or collectively beneficial to an artist's growth?
I feel like it's a means for everybody to. I feel like it's a means to have everybody, like I said, like things that someone's not inclined with, or like it just helps, like it's a network almost. So like I said, like let's just say I just made clothes and MAINEY SWOG was already a collective. If I just made clothes and there's a rap, like a music artist, a rapper, ooh, that earbud's hitting. That was a part of MAINEY SWOG, I could make his merch. And fucking, if there's a photographer, the photographer could shoot the rapper in the merch. And it's just a means and a network, and it's just
keeping it in the family, kinda.
Yes, and like I said, I'm super big on everyone eating at the table, and so it's just a means for me to. It would be just a means for me to help people and also receive help, and people that I like and love to, come up with me. I don't want to like, people get used all the time, so it would also be a means of assurance that the right person, hopefully the right person, is getting the right opportunities.
How would you determine that?
I don't want to make it seem like a screening process. It's not like shit needs to be a screening process, but I feel like you just feel people's energy, and usually like they're like what their heart's like on some Kingdom Hearts shit. But
vibes.
Like, yeah, I want to open up MAINEY SWOG as a collective and just have the means to help people and also receive help. And like I have a lot of like stuff that I'm working on right now, like that are kind of under wraps, and it would be nice to have help, but I would probably like do these projects myself, and then afterwards, I think that's what I was thinking about that at work today. It was like afterwards, like have the open everything up as a collective, and that way I have things to show for, and like be like, look, I'm not trying to, I made a path, I've started a path, come help me dig the rest. Yeah,
you're such a big ball of energy, and you're pretty good at like going after what you want. Have you always been like that, outgoing, or been someone who always puts himself out there?
Yeah, I was the kid that like raised my hand, and even before I got called on, like I would yell out the answer. If someone else got picked, I would just yell out the answer.
Do you feel like that if someone isn't like that they won't go as far, or that they'll have more difficulty getting what they want or going after what they want?
No.
For example, I'm shy. I'm not like someone who throws myself out there, but I'm passionate about what I do, but I'm not a, hey, look at me, or hey, like, I'm not that kind of person. So how would someone like me, or someone who's more introverted but passionate, what's the word, attack and go after what they want with the same gusto without being as, hey, I'm sunshine?
Mm-hmm.
How do they get what they want if they aren't that way?
I feel like talent like will show.
Mm-hmm.
Like talent always shows. So I can't really speak on like how other people will like reach success, especially like somebody like you're saying that's super introverted, but like you're fucking popping.
But I'm not someone who, you know how I am. I don't throw myself out there. I don't initiate.
But you're super talented, and it pays off.
Thank you.
So, like I said, like talent will show, and also like it's about the hours and time you put into it, and a lot of people, I feel like when they're at a young age, like in that college age, like around the early 20s, like everyone has like an ambition, and this is what I'm saying about like the time, like when you put time, it shows. Like a lot of people wanted to make brands or fucking be a music artist that I knew like a couple years back, and then now they're like they stopped pursuing that dream, and I don't know what happened, but you know they must have not been that passionate about it if they stopped, or you know sometimes it's unfortunate circumstances, but you know sometimes it's also like they just weren't that passionate about it, or like I know I'm not gonna say the name, but this dude that used to hate on me who had a brand, fucking turns out he just was making clothes because he wanted money, and
People can
I
tell.
mean he's not doing it now, so
Yeah.
I mean it fucking shows. Yeah.
As a designer, just not even because you're not just a designer, you do too much, you're all over the place. So as someone who's creative or a creative in general, was there ever a moment where you were like, I'm so proud, and it's like it showed you that you were going down the right path?
Um, I'm always, I guess, like, am I humbled? Is that what you mean?
No, like a highlight for you in your creative like journey.
I feel like I'm always, I feel like I feel like I'm always humbled by events, and like in a good way. And I'm always like the universe always shows me like you're on the right path, and shit's working and shit's paying off. And that's what I mean by I always feel humbled. So I feel like, you know, I always have things, and like, yeah, I always have just things that are always showing that I'm progressing, and you know, it's not always so straight to the point. It's sometimes like more figurative, or you know, it's things like fucking people like fucking going hella crazy when I announce something, and that shit's super humbling. Or like I said, like people were backing me up when I fucking wanted to DJ on Instagram, and you know, I was super geeked when I seen there's like hella people like fucking tearing this dude up on the internet, and I was like, dude, that's super humbling because I ain't had friends a couple years back, and now I have all these people that are like super supportive of me. So there's shit like that. As far as like I guess like an accolade, I don't know. I'm always trying to push myself. So whenever I do something, I always feel proud. Or whenever I learn something new, I always feel proud. Yeah.
5 years from now, what does MAINEY SWOG look like for you?
How old will I be? 27? Fuck. I don't like that question.
Why?
I'm not a. I hate when people are like, "What's your 5 year?" I don't like that 5 year plan question.
Well, it's not even specifically meant to be like exact, like just in the future. Like, where do you see MAINEY SWOG?
Oh, that's so. See, I guess I.
It's
you know why? Okay, you know why I don't like that question? Because I have like a lot. I have like a lot that I could see.
This is the chance for you to say all of that.
Um.
It's not to put you in a box to say, oh, it has to be just like this, but what do you hope to accomplish?
Like I said, fuck. Okay, there's gonna be a lot. Yeah. So as far as like, I'll start with the brand, and then I guess just give me a little bit of guidance after that. So like the clothing brand, obviously successful. Like I said, I want clothes to be more affordable and outside of my own brand, and so I want to fuck up the fashion game. I want to ruin it.
Okay.
Because before creation comes ruin.
I hated when you first told me that.
Because in order to, if there's a building, if you want to build a new building, you got to break that old building first. Yes. And that's what I want to do with fashion, is I want to like exterminate certain norms. And so yeah, I want to do something in a positive way. I don't want to like be like hella dictatory about how the fashion world is, but I want to like make shit more affordable just outside of my brand.
How would you do that?
Because fashion is just following trends, and when you are the trend, you kind of like set the bar. And when you're the cheapest gas station on a corner of 4 gas stations, if you're the gas station that gets shopped at, you set the price that the other gas stations have to go down to. Mm-hmm. And so I want to be that cheap gas station. I'm not saying quality cheap, but I want to be the gas station that fucking forces all the other gas stations to fucking compete with it. And so that's how I want to make everything in the fashion world on a financially competitive level, because that way everybody will be able to afford what they want. Or more so, I guess. Like I said, ethically, I want to build factories or like production area in the Bay Area because that will help the Bay Area get more jobs because there's a big homelessness problem in the Bay Area. And so I want to help provide people jobs. It'll be ethical. I want it to be ethical. So good wages, good benefits, all that. Um, I want to, and even more so helping with that, I want to, like I said, I want to prevent gentrification from continuing. So I want to like create housing for Bay Area natives and strictly for Bay Area natives. There obviously have to be like a screening process to prove that you're not from like not here.
Virginia.
Yeah. But Bay Area natives, helping them get housing and obtaining jobs, and they have job prioritization for working for the company, the factory, and all that. And that's how I want to help things on the ethical side. Also, like having all the manufacturing be done more green, like green packaging, better quality clothes from like more environmentally friendly materials that aren't made by people in fucking third world countries because they're made in America and everything's grown and produced out here, and it helps. And yeah, that's how I want to help the Bay Area get out of this slump and expand fashion in a really positive way and save the world.
Again, back to the saving the world.
Yeah. And that'll like that'll also expand on like not just the Bay Area thing. Like, fuck, I want to help like third world countries. Like, I had this really dope idea for shoes for third world countries that like shoes are really hard to come by in like really poor areas. So I want to like create certain types of shoes that like will help people.
Nice.
So it's not just like out here, but yeah.
If you were a superhero, what would your power be?
I would just like to be Zeus.
Just straight up.
Just
God.
Zeus.
Just want to be straight up.
Like
God.
Zeus, bro, with the throw lightning bolts at people, bro. And he fucking like, I don't know, like a devil fruit power, like a lightning bolt.
Everyone doesn't know what a devil fruit is.
Devil fruit is from One Piece, and there's different types. I would be like a Logia type. That's like a lightning bolt man. So I would be like, I could like be made of electricity.
Is that your favorite anime?
No, Dragon Ball is, but that's like second. Yeah.
Top 5 anime.
Ah, shit, I'm gonna get ripped for this. Okay, so Dragon Ball. Yeah, I'm gonna get ripped for this, but I'm gonna say it anyways because I have no shame in the anime. Like, Dragon Ball, and then this is where I'm about to get ripped for my tie. Can I do a tie for top 2?
Yes.
Because I definitely have a tie for top 2.
Go ahead.
Fairy Tail and One Piece.
They coming for your neck.
Yeah, people are like, come for me for that. I gotta make up with these last 3. Okay. Fucking Beast Stars. No. Okay, number 3 would be JoJo. As far as like the season, I like Golden Wind most. Or like Diamond is number. They're the way they dress in that. I always talk about that, but yeah, the way they dress. Fucking, what was that? Number 3? Okay, number 3, and then Attack on Titan at number 4. And then number 5 is like really hard because a part of me is like Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist at number 5. Brotherhood, not the original.
Sorry.
You're gonna get ripped for that.
I'm sorry. I'm like, whatever.
You liked it. It was just slow.
It was too slow for me. I don't like slow-paced anime.
It's okay. Yeah.
Favorite food?
Burritos.
How do you feel about California burritos? They're the best.
They're the best in the whole world.
I don't know if many people know this, but what's your background?
Oh shit. I'm on my okay. Nicaraguense, a white rainbow, like hella white shit, like French, German, fucking Polish, Irish, like not even lying, Mexican, some native. Not to sound like one of those white girls that went to Ancestry and be like 14% native, but that Chinese, and yeah, that's pretty much the main thing is just Hispanic, white. Yeah.
Favorite color combination?
Blue, pink, yellow. Blue, pink, yellow.
Is that because of Tyler?
He put me on that, but like my favorite color is blue and my favorite color is pink, and those have always been my two favorite colors. And then yellow. He just, I guess, like yellow. He like showed me the beauty of yellow. Yellow. Yellow.
The beauty of yellow.
The beauty of yellow. It's a very good complementary color.
Yes, it is.
That's what he like put me on, is that it's such a good complementary color. Yeah.
Are you a city person or a nature person?
I'm like both. I'm like from the city, but I love camping, and I would like. You always hear me talk about this. Whenever I get into like spiral down, whenever I go into a low, I always have like this fucking desire to like live at the bottom of like a mountain in the plain, like in fucking Switzerland, in the plains, like in a cot, and have my own like free range livestock and just live with goats and
Do you feel like you create better in an environment like that?
I feel like I would just enjoy the isolation. I always think of like what would happen if I like suddenly came back to society when it was like dying, and I came back with like a herd of goats, and I had a beard, and it had been like 2 years since anybody talked with me, and then suddenly like my return.
Speaking of isolation, the world is in a very interesting state right now. Do you feel like that's affecting you as an artist?
No, I'm just hella frustrated that there's hella people that. Well, I'm like grateful and frustrated. Like people are like getting like paid leave. I wish I was on paid leave. That would give me hella time to like work on stuff. But I'm working, and I'm grateful that I'm working, because I could be unemployed and struggling and shit. So at least I'm like working.
Do you find difficulty balancing like a traditional job with being an artist? Like, how do you balance the two?
You don't. You just fucking be miserable and go through it, to be honest.
Really?
Like, I mean, I'm generally in a good headspace, but definitely sometimes when you like in the holiday season, when you have to like work like basically every fucking day, that shit like sucks. And then there's times where you're not working at all, and then you're kind of freaking out. So I like that in between where you have like enough time to like work and create, because I don't like, I feel like sometimes I'm a sloth, so when I have to work, I'm like, I gotta work, and that's just how I am, and I don't utilize that bit of free time that I do for that day. I feel like I take everything day to day, so when I know I don't have a day off, or when I know I have a day off, I like create on that day off. I don't like try and cut one day in half. That's just me personally.
If you weren't an artist, what would your career be?
Dead person.
A dead person?
A dead person.
That's not a career.
Yeah, I know. It's this or nothing. Sorry,
this or
Mom.
Nothing. Why is that your feelings?
Because if I have to work the rest of my life, like the fuck?
I love how you said sorry, Mom.
Not for real.
How do you feel about people that go to school for art? Do you feel like that's not necessary?
No, if that's what they want to do, then that's cool. I hated school so much by the time I was like graduating high school, and like I was like, I personally, emphasis on personally, felt like I didn't need to go to school for art. But there's people that really benefit from it, or if that works for you, then it's good, and it's not like going to a good college isn't gonna get you connection. So
yeah, of course.
I mean, there's no right or wrong way to.
I've always said the school isn't for everybody. Everyone doesn't need to go to school. Some people need it for the refinement, but if you have the gift and the talent, then it's just gonna flow that way.
Yeah, you don't need school to be an artist, and you don't need to not go to school to be an artist. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're misunderstood ever?
Yeah.
What do you like? What is something?
Yeah.
What is it like? How do people misunderstand you? Or what is it that people don't understand when it comes to you?
I'm like a super high energy person, like super often, and I feel like people take that for me having a big ego when, you know, I usually like have a lot of energy in general because I'm a hyper person, but also like I like to, I guess, hype people up, and I know that energy is contagious, and that's the whole thing, the sun and all that is, you know, I want to spread it, and I feel like, you know, sometimes people just be fucking salty or in their, like, stuck in their way, and, you know, they don't want to fucking get out of their slump or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, people, it's important to feel sad, like, not to sound hella tumbly, but it's definitely important that you like go through those emotions and feelings when you're in a negative headspace. But also like don't live there. And that's easier said than done sometimes. So, you know, I like trying to use my positive energy and, you know, put myself out there and encourage people to like, you know, like chuckle up or whatever word. Chuckle, is that a word?
Yes, it's a word.
Chuckle up. I don't know, but you know, sometimes people just take that the wrong way and take it for like me having an ego or like me being a dickhead. And I don't know, people be haters sometimes when they're sad.
Yeah.
And you know, be sad, but don't spread it.
Don't deflect.
Don't. Your removing was moving.
Mm-hmm.
On Andre.
On
3000. No, like for real, like that song you're removing was moving. It's super true.
So what's coming up for you now? It is March 25th. I know the world's on lockdown right now, but what are you working on? That you can share.
Yeah. So on Friday, this probably won't be up by then. This will probably come out like the day after, to be honest. MAINEY SWOG Radio will have happened.
What is that? Like, how does that work? What's MAINEY SWOG Radio?
I just like music, and I have friends that make music, and I have friends that are passionate about music.
Plug them real quick.
Oh, that's a lot of people, and I'm gonna forget somebody.
You feel like you're gonna get...
I'm gonna forget somebody, so I'm not gonna say, but they know who they are. I love y'all. My family makes music, and so I just want to like help them. I just want to give them like a space, you know, and you know I put it on like my website and like the MAINEY SWOG YouTube, and so it's just like to give them like new fans.
Is it only for your friends?
Yes and no, cause like it's easy to become my friend, like. You know, just talk.
I feel like you could come off as intimidating with your energy and you being like as big of a.
Hey, bruh. If I'm intimidating, then I'm intimidating. I can't. That's a perception, not a deception. I'm trying to sound super figurative. That didn't work. But that's just you know, if you're intimidated by me, I can't like tell you like don't be intimidated by me. I can tell you like I'm a friendly person and. You know, feel free to talk to me. And that's how you become my friend.
Someone is so straightforward, it can be overwhelming. Of course, you don't diminish your light for anyone, but I could see why someone would think it would be difficult to be your friend.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, as far as like the radio thing, it's like I used to have it like fully open, like, oh, DM me your music. You just gotta, you know, plug it and you'll get on and whatnot. And people, I remember like. This dude who like sent me music like followed me and was like hella like dapper chipper with me or whatever, and then he fucking like after I posted like after the radio episode went up, he fucking unfollowed me on everything. And like so that's why I stopped having it so open, is there's multiple incidents like that. So I mean like that's what I'm saying, yes and no, because it's not hard to be my friend. You just gotta like talk to me or approach me and like, you know, don't be fake with me. So yeah, but I can't tell people, like, don't be intimidated by me. I could assure you I'm a friendly person. Just don't be on no fuck shit.
When's the next clothing drop, do you know?
I'm working on stuff right now, so maybe in April.
April, that's super close.
Probably definitely in April, yeah. So April, definitely will be having stuff. Or I shouldn't say definitely. I don't like giving myself a deadline, but most likely in April. Once the quarantine is up, I'm gonna have like an event in Vallejo. It's gonna be like a party. It's gonna be like straight up like a super big party function type shit in a safe space. I'm getting like a venue, so it's not gonna be at a house like a house, because like house parties in the Bay always get shot up. So this is gonna be like safe, but also super fun, and it's gonna be super live. And I'm going big for it. I'm putting a lot of planning into it. It's also gonna be for artists because I'm gonna have vendors, and a few performers. It's gonna be more party focused, so I will have performers, but not just super duper amount like it's a concert. It's definitely gonna be like shit for both people though, like artists and people
Don't you
that
have
are just
another
looking for
event
party
coming up
dollars.
that you're gonna be a part of?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be part of Concrete Babylon, and that's Floor 13's event. So I have a DJ set, and then that's just family. So I help the people at Floor 13 put that together. And then I'm gonna be a part of Trap Art as a vendor.
What's trap art?
That's like I don't know how to describe it really, but it's like it's like a party. Like essentially what I'm gonna be doing. They're like super big though, so they go around the country, and like it started in the Bay, and they have a stop in the Bay, so I'm gonna be a vendor for that. That's a pretty big opportunity.
Yeah.
That's like an accolade for me, I guess you could say.
It was actually supposed to be this upcoming weekend, but
It got canceled because of
Miss Corona decided that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink some of yours.
You don't like that one. Is yours all gone?
Yeah.
He has this really unhealthy obsession with yerba mates, yerba mate,
So?
whatever. Is there anything like else you want to say to the people? Any final words from the Hugo?
I love you.
Do you mean that? Because a lot of people say that. Do you mean it?
I'm gonna just say, watch One Piece. Go to the episode. I don't know about the episode because I might have, episode One Piece is really long, but there's this part in One Piece where Whitebeard, who's like the most feared pirate, is trying to save Ace, who is the main character's brother, but he's like not. He's part of Whitebeard's pirate crew, and Whitebeard he calls all his like shipmates his sons or his kids, and fucking he's going up against the government, which is who he's trying to save Ace from. They're about to like kill him on live television to make a statement. The world government, by the way. So he's trying to save him, and the government like basically gets one of his shipmates to try and stab Whitebeard, and that shipmate try to assassinate Whitebeard, and that shipmate stabs Whitebeard, his own like son, right? And all he does after is hugs his son, and he says, "I love you, and you didn't have to do this, blah blah blah." And he like comforts him after he just got stabbed by bruh. And that's what I mean by I love you, is like, you might hate me, but I love you, and I want you to feel better. Or I guess they didn't hate him, but you might have a certain way of feeling towards me, and I just want to tell you I love you, and I'm here to comfort you, and you shouldn't stab me. You should help me in my cause because it'll help all of us.
You heard it here first. He loves you. It's genuine.
Love you.
Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I know I learned some stuff, and I've known this guy for a little bit now. But thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, hey. Super duper cool.